So let's see what we have so far. We have a Doom and a Techies. Of course, we saw last series just how effective these heroes can be. They're very strong in the mid game and they also scale incredibly well. And I feel like Techies has some really spicy lane matchups as well. Like, you can pair him with so many heroes and he's gonna do amazingly. I also want to emphasize that we are witnessing a game where Meepo was first banned. I feel like this is an historic moment. I don't remember the last time I saw Meepo being banned anytime outside of the last phase. So that is really fun to see. Of course, we have a Magnus ban as well. Venge, Phoenix, Naga, Centaur, Nature's Prophet, no surprises there. Chen and Timber getting banned as well. We're not gonna be seeing any of those. I really wonder which heroes both of these teams are emphasizing, because of course I am a Western Europe player and I have a pretty decent experience with most of the Western EU players just from meeting them in pubs back in the day. But for China and SCA, I have lived in Japan for a little while, so I played a bit of SCA, but not really enough to like fully know all of these players personally. So final ban for the second phase is going to be Pugna for Azure. Haven't been seeing too much Pugna, but I do think he's a very strong hero. So let's see, 10 seconds left. What can they do here? We're gonna be playing against Doom, so I wonder, like, this is probably gonna be the off lane, I would say. So if they want, they can pick a carry if there is a specific one they have in mind that they fear could get banned later on. Of course, there is gonna be a lot of picks now due to the quote-unquote new pick phase that's going on these days. Azure taking quite a bit of reserve time here. I really do wonder what they're thinking of, because generally teams tend to be prepared for the opposing team and already have like some preferred draft openings that they could go for. But they go for Wind Ranger. That is certainly something. I can't say I've seen too much of this hero. He has like, or she has a 47%-ish win rate in Immortal games, which isn't too impressive. So seeing it come out in the first phase here was not something I had on my bucket list. Or a bingo card, I suppose. Geek fam gotta be responding with an Enchantress. And that is a very strong hero against Wind Ranger, because if I am not mistaken, you can just dispel the Wind Run with Enchant, which is insanely strong, because a lot of Wind Ranger's survivability does come from the Wind Run active. Just dodging all of those attacks. Of course, Wind Ranger has never been squishy, because even when she wasn't a universal hero, her strength gain was pretty good, but still, without the Wind Run, she's gonna be a sitting duck. So Geek fam now has Enchantress Doom. I would say that that's probably gonna be a lane duo. And next pick is gonna be Mirana. Okay. Very interesting. Feel like we're watching the meta develop as we speak, because Mirana is another hero that isn't picked up that often, I wanna say. At least in pubs. She's seen still as kind of that useless position 4 that sits in your lane, misses arrows, and then just kills some big creeps with it. So we'll see if Geek fam can make me change my mind here. So 1 minute in reserve time left for Azure. They pick up Marcy. Speaking about like universal heroes that you don't see that often, I feel like this is a pretty universal draft right now with Mirana, Wind Ranger, Marcy. Just a lot of interesting heroes being picked up here. I wonder which position they're gonna run this Marcy as well. So I was expecting something like the Wind Ranger in a core position, and then now it's just a little bit strange with the Pango. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be seeing the Pango in the mid lane. I would be very surprised if anyone other than Ori picked up the Pango. But then you're left with the Marcy and Techies, which I kind of expected to be a lane duo, because you have the strong tanky frontliner, you have 2 stuns, you have 1 scaling hero, which would leave the Wind Ranger for carry, I suppose. You can play her as a support as well, but I feel like now that she's a universal hero, she just benefits that much more from being in the core position. So we'll see what Azure ends up going for. They do still have some flexibility because Wind Ranger and Marcy are both heroes that you can absolutely just play as a support or a core. I just think that they're both better utilized in the core position. I suppose if they wanted to, they could still run Marcy as a position 5. Just go for Wind Ranger Marcy. That's a pretty decent lane. Wind Ranger does like having that extra right click damage. Marcy is pretty tanky, has some good kill potential, and then they could pick another tanky offlaner for the techies to lane with. And Geek fam, they go for the Ember Spirit. So this is a hero that I think a lot of players think is not that strong, all things considered. With the changes to his cast point, he just feels a little bit sluggish these days. Let's see if I can up my mic. One sec. Should be fixed. So yeah. People don't really like Ember Spirit that much anymore, but recently he's been seeing somewhat of a resurgence. A lot of players picking him up again.
10 seconds to
just
go.
seeing what's cooking.
Like a kid in school.
So we probably need a carry for Geek fam, and for Azure I feel like it's so difficult to say. Could be a carry, could be a position 5, could be a position 3. Geek fam expects it to be a carry because they banned the Luna, and of course Azure is banning carries as well, banning the Morphling, which was so strong in the last best of 1. So we'll see which carries are still left in the pool. I guess Arc Warden is one of the heroes that is very popular and strong in pubs, but hasn't been seeing too much competitive play. I guess Lone Druid's still an option. I'm also very surprised to see Void still in the draft right now, because that is one of the heroes that has been dominating pub games, and he seems pretty strong against both of these teams actually. Maybe a bit stronger for Geek fam, I would say, because you have the Chrono into the Arrow, which is a time-tested really strong combination. And you don't really want to play Void against Doom. I mean, you can do it, because if you get the Chrono on Doom and stop him from getting off his Doom, that would be really nice. But I feel like in the late game, you're just so incredibly vulnerable to that AoE Doom. So we'll see what they end up going for. Geek fam taking their sweet time with the bans here. Azure going for the final ban of the Bloodseeker, which makes a lot of sense because Bloodseeker is a really strong counter against Pangolier. Just getting the Rupture out when he uses his Rolling Thunder, and as a Pango, you're just not gonna be having that much fun. Even if you can technically buy a Blade Mail, not a lot of people do that these days. Alright, final ban for Geek fam is gonna be Dacha, and they pick up Templar Assassin. Interesting. So there was a Watson tier list that said that TA was, I believe, in the S or A tier of carries, and then some other players completely disagree. And they're like, yeah, TA is a pretty shit hero, but Geek fam, they're gonna be trying it out here. If it's a core Wind Ranger, I don't think TA is that strong. But I feel like Geek fam just wants to play for that mid-game tempo. They want to make sure that they get their items, just get their BKBs, and just completely roll over Azure. I feel like around the 35-minute mark or something, they are gonna be super strong. Azure, just 2 seconds. What are they gonna pick up? It's gonna be a Viper. So I'm still not really sure what their lanes are gonna be. Okay, so it is gonna be the Ori Pangolier. That was to be expected. And it is gonna be the carry Wind Ranger on blue. So that is also something we saw coming. And FY is gonna be Marcy, so it's gonna be position 5. And I guess it's gonna be a Faith Beyond Viper then. With Tianming on techies. It's kind of an awkward lane, because you have these two ranged heroes that are not really that tanky at the start, but you're playing against a TA, which is a hero that is really, really weak at level 1. So yeah, I could see it working. Just looking at this Geek Fam draft, they have a lot of like mid-game strength, but I am a bit worried about the lanes. Because I feel like this TA could really struggle, and if the TA doesn't have any items, I'm not so sure. At the same time, Viper is a big win lane lose game hero. So we'll see if Azure can make it work. I feel like this is the point where I have to make a prediction. So what's it gonna be? I feel like I'm gonna go with Azure, having some faith in the Viper. We'll see if they can make it work. We are into the game, so let's see what these teams can bring here. Gonna see a smoke coming out from Geek Fam. Azure is also running into the same position, so we could be seeing a big clash here. Of course, it's the battle for the vision, as always at the start of the game. Now we see a smoke coming out from Azure as well. We could see a huge clash, but both teams just narrowly avoiding each other. No one has any idea what's going on, and this cliff isn't warded either. But they could be waiting on the high ground here, and Geek Fam, they're running up. They found FY. They don't quite get the connection yet. The Doom runs up to the high ground, taking a lot of damage. Huge shield crash here, but it's gonna be the Doom falling first. Natsumi really low as well, but Ori already goes down. Oh, the Ember getting incredibly low. Still has a fairy fire, but he's not gonna use it, and he's just straight up gonna fall. 2 kills for Azure so far. I reckon they're gonna be quite pleased with that one. Getting the first blood and 2 kills in general. Who ended up getting the kills here? It's the Marcy, it's the techies. Oh, actually Skem. He is still gonna fall, so it's 3 kills in favor of Azure. And this is the richest techies I have ever seen. Wow, what an incredible start to this game. Luckily, none of the mid laners got any of the kills, which tends to be a really big deal. But still, the techies is gonna be quite pleased with what he managed to achieve here. Let's see what he has coming up in the courier. Oh, that's a stacked inventory. It's the full one, some nice extra regen for Lu on this Wind Ranger. Gets arrowed, taking a bit of damage. But I feel like that might have been on purpose, just to make sure that the Mirana wasn't able to secure the range creep. Because that is a big deal in these early levels. Because it's worth noting that at the start of the game, if you get 2 complete creep waves without denies, that means that you get level 2 before the enemy team. The Mirana and Techies getting very low here. Just trading hits left and right. No one gonna fall quite yet. And I wouldn't expect to see any big kills here. There's not that much kill potential. Let's see, on this bottom lane, we have Natsumi playing against the Marcy Viper here. It's actually gonna be the Techies position 5. So this lane makes a bit more sense to me. Just the level 1 in Nether Toxin. Ooh, but now we hit the level 2. TA is not gonna enjoy this lane, I think. We have the Marcy passive as well. It's gonna be really hard to get close to creeps, and we have a knockback, but the aggression turns the other way. Viper getting very low as well. Natsumi is gonna get the kill there onto Faith Beyond. So I think Geek Fam is gonna be pretty pleased with that one. This is a very difficult lane for a TA to play, and just getting a trade this early in the game is very nice. So one lane we haven't really spoken about that much is this Pango against Ember. And usually this is a lane that I would say is pretty even, all things considered, but Ori has been dominating. 13 and 5 up against 8 and 0. That is a big deal, especially the denies this early in the game. That is really nice. So mostly this lane is just gonna be about who gets the level 6 first and who manages to get a nice rotation to one of the side lanes. So we'll see. Mac isn't doing that poorly. Yeah, I should get this range creep last hit as well, and then a potential deny, not quite, but it's not so bad. So we'll keep an eye on the CS in the mid lane. Ooh, this Mirana still level 1. The arrow is gonna hit. That is a very nice connection onto Chanming. Tries to go for the blast off, but it's not gonna work. Nice kill in favor of Geek Fam. This is another lane that is pretty damn scary for Azure. I do have faith in their draft. I have faith in their Viper, but this top lane, I could see them struggling a little bit. Just because the Techies Wind Ranger is just a bit awkward. You have no real frontline tank. I guess they got the 2 kills on the Techies, which is really nice. But yeah, it's not great. Just stepping slightly out of line, out of position, and you can get punished super hard by a stray arrow. Ooh, meanwhile in the bottom lane we actually missed that one, but Natsumi bit the dust. I feel like it's to be expected from this Viper lane, and once again they just jump relentlessly. This time it's gonna be Scam, just absolutely no chance. And I feel like Natsumi is gonna have to go like jungle soon, which feels really bad, but that is exactly why Azure ended up picking this Viper in the first place. They know that if Geek Fam gets to this point in the mid game where they hit their timings, they get their items, it's just gonna be so hard to play, so their approach is just to make sure that never happens. Natsumi is not allowed to have any fun, so he's already here in the jungle just hitting creeps, which feels so bad. I'm sure every single carry player can relate. It's 4 minutes into the game, your support fed a couple of times and you already have to go jungle. Feels bad, man. Arrow gonna be connecting on Chanming, and it's actually gonna be the Mirana just pulling some creeps. Just being mega annoying. In the mid lane, we have Mac still struggling a little bit. I mean, he's still doing okay. He's gonna get his level 6 like 2 creep waves from now. But yeah, this isn't great. Just being down 5 CS, 9 denies. It's rough. Of course, Ori did get some assist gold and XP in the early game, so that's gonna help. But still, Ori just putting on a masterclass performance here on this Pango. Oh my goodness. Scam just solo bottom. I wonder what Faith Beyond is gonna build on this Viper. Looks like he's going for some kind of a right-click-ish build. Already getting a Wraith Band. And now an Urn as well. Yeah, it is Faith Beyond, so I reckon he's gonna be quite active on this Viper. I feel like some other players in a lane like this would have tried to go for something like a Midas, because they're completely uncontested, but Faith Beyond is gonna try to leverage his advantage, because he knows that the win objective in this game is gonna be just to overrun Geek Fam completely. Ooh, we see the first roll coming out, and Ember is not level 6 yet, so Ori is gonna get that kill. Ooh, that is a big deal. Just getting that solo onto the enemy mid. Who needs a rotation if you can just rotate to your own lane and get the kill on the enemy mid?
Radiant's bottom tower seen better days.
Yeah, poor Mac. It is very hard to lane against Ori. I wouldn't like to be in his shoes. Natsumi returning to the lane. Just for a brief moment, but Natsumi already taking so much damage. Just the Viper poison, but it's gonna be Chanming who's gonna be in trouble. Mirana rotating, Chanming taking so much damage. Nice blast off though! Sacrificing himself, betraying himself for Scam. He was already so low, so that is definitely worth it. Some earned charges for the Viper as well. That is a very nice kill there. Natsumi still just chilling in the jungle. Picks up a casual Sage's mask, and I quite like this. He knows he's gonna be jungling for a long time, so you can either keep buying clarities or just get a Sage's mask. We have chains onto Ori, now a Doom as well. Yeah, no escape for him. Really nice rotation by the Doom there. Using his first Doom, getting the kill onto that pivotal Ori.
Radiant's bottom tower ain't a pretty sight right now.
Bottom tower under a bit of pressure. Of course, Viper is quite strong in lane, but he doesn't push that quickly. So that is one thing that Geek fam do have going for them. Yes, they're losing this bottom lane. Yes, they have to jungle. But this tower should be up for at least a little while longer. Lu on this Wind Ranger going for a Maelstrom first. No big surprises there. It's a very nice hybrid fighting farming item. Azure running into the Doom here. I'm not sure if they have the damage. There is a Rolling Thunder. They are gonna commit it, but this Doom is so tanky. Blast off is gonna mix. Nice fancy footwork by the Doom. Taking a good amount of damage though, and he should be going down here, right? Yeah, just an uncontested Rolling Thunder. Just having so much time to take down this Doom. He's tanky, but not quite tanky enough.
Dire's mid tower won't last much longer.
So, nice kill in favor of Azure. They now have a 3k gold advantage. Faith Beyond still just chilling in this bottom lane. And he's gonna be going for a Vil. Very popular item right now. Such efficient stats. The active is decent as well, but it's mostly just an item that has a really good build-up. It's quite cheap, gives good stats, a bit of regen, a bit of armor. It just has everything pretty much.
Right now.
Lu almost has his Maelstrom, opting to put 0 points into Shackle. Because, you know, who needs Shackle, right? It's, don't need it to click creeps. And Mac is gonna go for a Mage Slayer, which looking at this Azure lineup makes a lot of sense to me. Of course, Ember is a universal hero now as well. Never mind. I am confusing it with Void Spirit. But no, it's just a very good item on Ember because you have the ability to apply the Mage Slayer passive to so many heroes with Sleight of Fist. Doom once again taking a good amount of damage here. We have a blast off as well. Can they connect in time? They certainly can. FY gets the jump. Down goes Cox once again. Scam still running around in the jungle. They have a Moonlight Shadow. The blind Ember actually goes for the rotation. Chanming getting very low here. The disarm onto Mac. They are gonna find the kill onto the techies, but Scam in return is gonna fall as well. Ooh, nice rotation by Lu, getting the catch onto Mac. He thought he was safe with the Remnant, but no. Lu was already in position. Really nice kills here for Azure, and it's starting to look better and better. At the same time, Faith Beyond just still chilling in this bottom lane. He finally got the tower, and now he's just clicking some creeps. He's like, yeah, no one can fight me. I might as well just get every single last hit in the lanes and get some jungle creeps to boot.
Mid tower's getting banged up.
At the same time, it's just a single tower so far in favor of Azure. So Geek fam, they still have a good amount of space on the map, and I feel like they're just desperately trying to make sure that Natsumi has the space that he needs on this TA. On top lane, AR is trying to get some more tier 1s. And it doesn't look like Geek Fam has any interest here in trying to contest this tower. Because at the same time, Mac is putting some pressure on the tier 1 mid as well. We have a bit of a skirmish in the bottom lane. We actually have a Doom on Fate Beyond. Yeah, and no escape for him. He's gonna fall. So nice rotation by the Doom there. There is a return kill onto the Enge, but that is certainly worth it. Or he has his Diffusal Blade. So it's actually quite difficult to play Ember Spirit at this stage of the game. Because he has freaking 500 max mana. And a single swashbuckle is already gonna take off like 200 mana. So if you're below half mana and you get swashbuckled, you're just gonna die. Lu now on the bottom lane. He has his Maelstrom and wait, he's getting a Manta. Okay. That's not an item I see too often on Wind Ranger. I mean, it makes sense, because in terms of stats, it's super efficient. Ooh, Scam. Nice stun though onto Lu, and his Wind Run is dispelled. He does get the kill onto Scam. Nice Shackle as well, but can he escape? Wind Run in 2 more seconds. There is no Infernal Blade, so he should be fine. Should be fine? Yeah, no worries. Wind Ranger's just chilling, gets the solo kill. No worries at all. He's even gonna pick up a nice Lotus. Doesn't have a TP. But who needs a TP when you have a career like this? Jesus, what an eyesore. Mage Slayer is almost up on Mac. But just if you compare the net worth, yeah, he's quite far behind Ori. We're gonna try to go for a smoke. They have the classic combination of Searing Chains into Arrow, which is really lethal at this stage of the game. But let's see if they can find a hero that actually matters. And Ori certainly does. Arrow coming in as well, but nicely blocked by Qianming. That is beautiful. And now it's actually going to be Mac who's going to be in trouble. Nice dodge though. Oh my goodness, that was swaggy. Jump in by FY. Ulti popped. Scam getting really lower. Qianming still falls, but so does Scam. Gonna wanna keep chasing here. He is gonna fall. My goodness, that damage. It feels almost illegal here. Poor Mirana just getting removed from the game. This is an interesting build on FY as well. He is the support here, but going for double Wraith Band power threats, he really wants to hit people. They are putting some extra pressure onto the tier 1 mid, and they are gonna get it. So slowly but surely, the Geek Fam map is getting smaller. Natsumi has done a pretty decent job recovering from his terrible lane. Just jungling here and then. He's still behind both real cores for Azure, which is a little bit worrying. We see another smoke as well. If they find Natsumi, that is huge. I'm not sure if he can escape in time. Yeah, he's mega dead. They have vision on him. Nice ward. Down goes Natsumi. Decent amount of damage onto this Viper. But yeah, that's a big kill. Because right now, Natsumi is really the win condition for Geek Fam. TP bottom. Doom was committed, actually, onto this Wind Ranger. So that is gonna be Doom down for over 2 minutes. Geek Fam trying to make something happen, but if you have a level 9 Doom with just a Midas and no Infernal Blade, it's really hard to keep up with a hero like Wind Ranger, even if she just walks away, because you literally don't have a slow. I guess he has the Thunderclap, but good luck getting that off on a Wind Ranger. The game has slowed down somewhat, and what was once a 4 to 5k advantage is now only 3k, which makes a lot of sense because you do have a Doom with the built-in gold steroid with the Devour and a Midas on top of a free farming TA. But I feel like in relative strength, AR is leading by quite a lot here. Ooh, Ori finds Scam, goes for a Rolling Thunder. He has no idea where this Ench is, so the Rolling Thunder is gonna be wasted, unfortunately, for AR offense.
Radiant structures must
But he did have an Arcane Rune, so it's not so bad. Ooh, Mac losing most of his mana. We have a skirmish on bottom. Doom goes down. There is no Doom, so he has to get out. FY getting very low, but Mac is like, yeah, maybe I don't want to fight here. FY still solo, goes for a jump. Tianming getting very low, but Scam needs to be careful here. He doesn't have his ulti, just a few more hits and he would go down. He's gonna be fine. AR playing with fire here though. Both Tianming and FY being incredibly low. They're like, yeah, come and get us. We don't care. Natsumi has his Blink Dagger, so we could see him get a bit more active on the map if he wants to. He's gonna go for the shard next, which means that his traps can silence. Also gives him some extra traps. It's a very nice shard for if you want to be active. Because TA already has a lot of damage, so getting a bit more disable is very nice. Both Ori and Fate Beyond posturing here in the top lane. But I don't think they really want to fight here. They don't have great vision. We see a Moonlight Shadow coming out. Ooh, Sleight of Fist not quite gonna hit though. AR knew what was going on. They have a Void here. It is gonna get de-warded now. Oh. Ming picks up a shield rune, always very nice. Now with the Pavis as well, and it's gonna be a Roche attempt, and this makes a lot of sense because you have a Wind Ranger, you have a Pango, so Roche is just straight up food here. Very nice presence of mind by Azure. Getting that quick Roche. Manta now on the Wind Ranger as well. Very unusual build in my opinion, but Lewis making it look so darn good. Most Wind Rangers just play again around their focus fire, just getting damage and maybe items like a Gleipnir. But getting the Manta makes a lot of sense because it makes you a lot stronger outside of the focus fire window, but it also gives decent damage. So it speeds up your farming because you get a bit more attack speed and movement speed. Yeah, I really like this build. Tier 1 mid for Azure is still up. It looks like Azure want to fight here. And Fate Beyond, he's going for an Aghanims next. So it's gonna be the weird jumpy thing. Which I think is gonna be very strong up until the point that Natsumi gets his BKB. Lu? Looking for some action here onto the TA. He's not gonna find it though. He did finally skill up his shackle shot. So he does have some disable, but this Doom, his blink is on cooldown and they know. So yeah, this dude is mega dead. I'm sorry, Cox. Rolling Thunder coming out as well. Immediate TP towards the mid. And speaking about the mid, they actually managed to kill Fate Beyond here. He got a bit ahead of himself. His team chasing a Doom and he got left alone in the mid lane. Mac gets shackled though. That's a lot of damage. And it's gonna be enough damage. Mac falls. See, that's why you skill up the shackle shots. Just so much burst damage, so much disable on this Azure lineup. And Age is still gonna be up for 3 minutes. So it feels like Azure can just do whatever they want right now. See another shackle. It's not quite gonna connect. Ooh, they're gonna be able to steal the Tormentor as well. That's a bit of nice economy. Going the way of Azure. It looks like Geek Fam wanted to contest this in some way, but without the BKBs, their lineup is just so weak. Natsumi, he deals a good amount of damage, and now he's getting an MKB to deal with the Wind Ranger, but if you look at this Azure lineup, there are so many stuns. Ooh, Natsumi. All of these Azure heroes just waiting in the trees. Blink away. Quick on the fingers. So they're not quite gonna get the kill there. Very spooky indeed. And Mac, he has his Mage Slayer, he has his Maelstrom, so he has a good amount of damage. Lu going for the Fishing Shackle shot. Not quite gonna connect here. On the bottom lane though. We do find Scam. Yeah, and he's Mega Dead. No escape for him. This is not a fun game to play, Ensh. Already 8 deaths. He's not even bothering to skill up his ulti, which I'm not sure if I fully agree with. Because it is a very nice value point. But I guess he feels like he's just dying to all of the spells. And he's still on his bottom lane. Pretty much solo defending. It's such a scary position. But Lu doesn't have a blink, and the blast off initiation is slow enough that you can quite easily blink out of it. I would expect this tier 2 to fall with the focus fire being committed. So once again the map is getting smaller and smaller for Geek fam. Yes, I agree that the late game lineup looks very scary, and if they hit their timings, it's gonna be quite difficult for Azure to play. Because if you compare the late game impact of a Viper and a Doom, it's just a completely different world. The problem is getting to that stage. How are you ever gonna get to that point when you just have like this small area of the map to farm? Yes, the Doom with the Octarine, with the Refresher, with the BKB is gonna be so strong, but he just doesn't have the space to farm. So even with his Midas, he's only a little bit ahead of the Viper and way behind the Wind Ranger and the Pango. And that is with both of his GPM steroids in the Midas and the Devour. He is spotted though. FY just standing on the cliff menacingly. He's like, team, I found a Doom. Team, join me. I feel like Azure is just waiting for the next Roche, I guess. Previous one was at 8 minutes, so now they're gonna be farming up for a few more minutes. Finishing up the Lincolns on Wind Ranger most likely. Just gonna be a pretty darn big item to deal with the Doom. Then they're gonna go for another Roche, get a pick off and try to go high ground. That is what I would do at least. So another Tormentor falling. Very, very nice. Ori has his Aghanims as well. My goodness, this Pango is freaking stacked. Ooh, that's a DD Wind Ranger. I would be scared if I was Geek fam right now. Of course, he is alone. Doesn't have a blink, so if you do manage to get the Doom on him somehow, he is still gonna fall. FY still in this bottom lane. With a Vlad now.
Dire's top tower, you know the drill.
An item that has gotten a bit more popular over the days. It has been out of meta for a long time. Ooh, they're gonna go for Mac on his Ember. They have vision on him. Can they get the kill here? Ooh, blind jump, and they do get the shackle as well. Mac falls. All things considered, I'm surprised that we haven't seen more pickoffs, because Geek fam is really weak right now. So despite them being down right now, I feel like they're doing a pretty decent job just minimizing the losses, because they know they're so much weaker, and just losing a hero every now and then, I feel like they're still getting enough out of the map. They still have a chance here. Oop, ulti coming out from FY. Yeah, this Doom is in a lot of trouble. He doesn't have a BKB, he doesn't have anything. Doesn't want to commit Doom either, so that's another pick off. Maybe I jinxed Geek fam there, praising them for not getting picked off too often. It's just a classic caster's curse. Ori going for a Basher next. Having an Invis rune now as well. And Natsumi does have his MKB, but without the BKB, I feel like he just can't fight. Even 1v1 against the Wind Ranger. Yes, you jump in, you get a big hit, but then you just get shackled and still die. Viper needs to be a little bit careful. We've seen that he can fall quite quickly. Moonlight Shadow now coming out. If they find a Wind Ranger, that would be huge. Scorched Earth coming out. There is a War Stomp. I don't think he can quite get into Rage in time. Ooh, and now we have a Rolling Thunder coming out. Scam once again just falling. Poor Scam. And now Doom is out of position as well. He does have his BKB. Tries to go for the fancy footwork, but nah, he's just gonna fall. Didn't want to commit his BKB and pays the price. Mac is almost completely out of mana now. Out of remnants as well, but he does manage to get away just in time. 2 kills going in favor of Azure. This could mean racks. Like, what is Geek Fam gonna do against this Wind Ranger? Yes, they have a fortification. Doom is technically up, but it's 20 seconds until he even respawns. And by that time, I'm afraid they're already gonna lose racks. Nah, never mind. They just get the tier 3 and then they go Roche. It's the safer play. No reason to risk anything right now. They have a 14k lead. They are in firm control of this game. So it's a pretty quick Roche spawn, and it's gonna fall pretty quickly as well. There is no Moonlight Shadow, there is no BKB on the TA yet, so I don't think Geek Fam can really contest this. Yeah, poor Roche, just getting bullied. He respawns and he dies again. Cheese now as well. Oh, they actually put the Aegis on the Viper. That is interesting. I reckon, yeah. I feel like they should just buy Shard on Viper and just put him in front of the towers, right-clicking. Especially with the Aegis. It's gonna be so hard to deal with him. There's no Tormentors yet, so I feel like it would be worth it to just get the Shard. Yeah, and that's exactly what he does. Like, I have no idea how they're gonna deal with this Viper. Yes, if they commit everything, they can kill him once quite easily, because he doesn't have any mobility, he doesn't have a Lincolns. But right now, just putting him in front of a tower and this thing is gonna melt. Just look at this. This feels illegal. Oh my goodness. Geek Fam. Yeah, they're just not gonna get the BKB in time on TA, so they can have all the farm in the world on her. But it's still not gonna matter that much because she can't hit anyone. And she's not even that rich. Oh my goodness, Geek Fam. They need a miracle. Ooh, just looking for trouble. I really like the gem on Wind Ranger as well. They know that it's almost impossible to kill Lu with this Lincolns and Aghanims. So just giving him a gem secures so much map control. They're still looking for some kind of pick-off before they really commit for the high ground. But Geek Fam, they're just stuck in base. They are terrified. And for good reason. But now we see a smoke. Can they make something happen here? If they can find the techies and the Wind Ranger, that would be huge. They know Chan Ming is here. Can they get the jump? Lu, he's not gonna break the smoke just yet. Ooh, they found a Pango. That is the ideal target here. Doom coming out as well. Do they have the damage? Beautiful blast off though. And Doom is just gonna get destroyed. Techies falls as well. And Ori is gonna fall. So that's a nice pick-off. But still, this fight is not a favorable one for Geek Fam. Lu is just wreaking havoc here on this Wind Ranger. Shackle, not quite enough. So they get the ideal start of a fight on Geek Fam. They find the Pango. All of the in-fight control is gone. And still, they don't have enough to take it home. And Lu is already at the high ground, focus firing your tier 3s. And this should be 2 sets of racks. There is a buyback on TA, but without the BKB, she just can't do anything. That's, it feels bad, man. 16k lead now, and it's gonna be the first melee racks falling. The tier 3 is getting quite low as well. I would expect to maybe see...
Top rags is gone now.
Nah, never mind. They don't need a buyback on Geek fam. They're just gonna be patient. And so is Azure. They have 2 minutes left on the Aegis, so they don't have to go too fast. They can just wait for the Pango and just put this Viper in front of the towers and just hit. The only thing that is a bit lacking for Azure is the sustain on the Viper. Just with all of the impetuses and Sleight of Fist, you can slowly whittle him down. And they don't have a dedicated healing hero. But Ori is back. He has his Rolling Thunder. So if they want to, they can even just hit the towers while Ori just runs around the background. Ooh, that's a nice kill onto FY. Slightly out of position. There we have the Rolling Thunder, so this is going to be a bit of space, but I'm not sure if it's quite going to be enough. They get the kill onto the Mirana, which is a nice kill, but Air kind of needs to back off now. They don't have Rolling Thunder. The Aegis is gone. Nice Shackle, though, onto both the Doom and the TA. That is huge. Blast Off coming out as well. BKB popped on the Ember, but he doesn't have everything. Just gets slowed down and killed. Or he's still looking for trouble. He's so tanky, even without the ulti. And Natsumi, he's going to be in so much trouble now. He doesn't have a BKB. He falls buyback onto the Doom, but everything has been expended for Geek fam. And Natsumi, he doesn't have buyback. He bought out. That's 2 sets of racks and potentially even more once they realize that the TA doesn't have buyback. Ember now with the buyback as well. Fox coming back in, but with the Lincolns, there just isn't that much that he can do. Doom now finally comes out onto Ori, but the Ember already fell. GG is called. Dominant performance by Azure. I had some doubts about the Viper at the start, but they utilized him so incredibly well. Just completely choking out Geek fam. It felt like they had nowhere to go. Yeah, Azure, I am really impressed by them.